back with another Beefy Boys breakdown. This is number 8. Breaking down Fight Island number 3, even though it was the 4th fight on Fight Island. That'll always fuck with me. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Super glad to be back. What an epic card, both in like size and quality. We got quality and quantity last night, so that's always a fun time. I'll get Harrison on here in just a second. I get a little hydrated for y'all. All right, let's get my beefy brother on here. Oh, there he is with too much sauce. There we go. What's up, bro?
Not much. I decided to go with the actual official background that I have made for this. It's a whole bar with a TV.
Oh, dope. Nice, bro. Yeah, that's definitely looking legit. Can't wait to get that Beefy Boys banner up there behind you. That'll look sick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is in the kitchen. I don't even watch this TV. So for it to just say Beefy Boys would be better.
That would be dope. We can maybe even like put like a digital version of the logo up on the TV.
I should do that.
Hey, there we go. We'll cross that bridge when we have an actual logo to use. Shout out to the start of baseball season. Got to rep my A's.
Shout out to me looking forward to football happening.
Yeah, man. It's looking good, man. It's like if baseball and basketball can manage to not fuck this up, then
yeah, I know, right? I know.
Yeah, shout out to Lou William being in an Atlanta strip club. He said he had to leave the bubble for a family emergency. Like, Jesus Christ, dog. Like, are we in 7th grade lying to get a hall pass here? Like, what's going on, man?
Bro, I was so happy when I heard the real story that he was in a strip club. I was like, oh, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense.
Especially Lou Will, because he has like the 2 wives or whatever. He's about that life. He's a real playboy. Am I sounding all right? I got this new headset. Is it sounding all right?
Yeah, that reminds me, bro. Actually, let me set this right here. I'm gonna go grab my head earbuds because I hate when I forget them. My bad. I'll be right back.
No, you're totally good,
If you want to introduce the episode and find out, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so like I said, we're learning as we go here on Beefy Boys, and so we're gonna do like we did last time and split it into part 1 is gonna be the prelims. And part 2 is going to be the main card. And especially with these super long prelims, anybody that's really wanting to hear some content about the main card should go over to part 2, at least on Instagram. Once these get to YouTube, it'll be all one part. Yes, that's still coming. That's still coming. Hopefully you have the logo by tonight. Super excited about that. And yeah, we're gonna keep these Beefy Boys coming to you. We're in this for the long haul. This isn't no flash in the pan, just bored during quarantine. Like we're gonna keep at it. Especially, man, the UFC keeps giving us these frequent and awesome cards.
Okay, we're back.
But yeah, bro. No, you're good, brother. You're good, man. But it sounds. Do you think it sounds any better, or is it about the same? Can you notice a difference?
Hold on, I'm about to find out when I put these in. I think because it sounds like your audio is a lot more like rounded off, where it doesn't just like have that open space to it. Would be good.
Cool. Yeah, your audio just got a little better whenever you plugged that in.
Yeah. Yours sounds a lot more like controlled and metered. It's good.
Dope. And I got my fan off too, so I know that was providing a little background noise. So I'm just gonna sweat it out because I love y'all. I love DC Nation. That's how much I love y'all. But yeah, I guess that's how you can tell our climates are a little bit different right now. What is it cold out there? Why the fuck are you in a hoodie and beanie in Oklahoma summer? That's what I want to know.
Because I keep it so cold in the house because it's so hot outside.
Flex on them.
It's like 100 degrees outside, so my house stays at a nice like 70.
Nice. Yeah, see, it's like it's only like got like I think like a high of 85 here today, so it's not too ridiculous.
It's not too bad, but also like that could be awful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and my room is the one that the sun hits. But anyway, y'all ain't here to listen to that. Y'all are here to listen to us break down these fights. We've bullshitted long enough. I just gotta say, this thing makes me feel like I need to ask you how many fucking chicken nuggets you want, or if you want any sweet and sour sauce or something. But if it sounds better for you guys, then I'm all for it. And it's nice having no wires because my fucking fidgety ass was always knocking over my ring light and shit. So we'll definitely see how this goes. But yeah, man, So we had like a prolific card as far as 15 total fights. Was it was
Yeah.
it was it eight
Yeah.
prelim and seven main? Is that what it
Yep.
was?
Yep. That's right. That's
But
right.
so
It's the most fights on a card since UFC 2, which also had 15 fights, but like those fights are trash. UFC 2, those are trash fights. Like we got
yeah,
15 real fights
yeah,
last night.
and these and they were all like I feel like they were pretty much all good. I don't feel like there was really any snoozers.
There was just two smokings, just two
Yeah.
pure smokings. We'll get to Shimaev. We'll get there.
Yeah,
The man didn't take one punch last night. Did you know 70 to
yeah,
0
he
is the
didn't
final
take
count?
one, and I want to say he took two last fight. So I
Yeah.
think in 10 days he's fought twice and gotten hit twice
And I
with
think he's
two wins.
landed over 140.
Like I'll be real, bro. Like sometimes those Russian guys or those, like they can be kind of hard to root for, just like unrelatable. But I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a
You know what's
fan of
crazy is
Chimaev. Like,
he's Dagestani or whatever, like in ethnicity, obviously, like that's where he's from originally. His parents are from there, but he's actually a Swedish citizen and trains with Ilir Latifi and Gustafsson.
yeah, they got some good fighters coming out of Sweden
Yeah.
right
Did you
now.
see his post-fight interview? I mean, we'll get to him, but I'll just go ahead and ask you that question. That was
Yeah,
the
where he's
best
just like, I'll,
post-fight
I'll
interview.
crush everybody,
Yeah,
anybody, any
he's like, I
weight
smash
class.
anybody. Dude, when he said 70 kilos to 84 kilos for like Americans that are unaware, that is, he's saying 155 pounds to 185 pounds.
Yeah, he's
He's
about
saying
that
he'll take
smoke.
Adesanya. He's saying he'll take Kamaru Usman and Khabib. He's saying any of the three. Like, I'll smash all three.
You know why I like his matchup is because he has the Dagestani style wrestling, the Khabib style wrestling, but he also like has hands and like the longer frame. A lot of those
Yeah.
Dagestani guys are like stumpier and they're just trying to ground it out. And he actually has the length and athletic ability and flexibility and mobility to stand and strike. But he also has that just classic Dagestani style as well that he can kind of fall back on.
His
I'm a
technique
big
was,
fan of
was
Chimaev.
I mean, what sucks though is like he was minus 1,200 favorite. Like, I need to see him against someone that's a little bit better, but I am all in. Like, that dude's a problem for
Yeah,
155, 170.
yeah, like,
Both weight divisions.
and hell, even I guess 85 too, right? I mean, apparently so,
Apparently.
because the thing is like 6'2", so like even if he is a little bit thin for 185, I mean he'll still have a reach advantage on a lot of 85ers because a lot of 85ers are like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. He's like a
Can you
long 6'2".
can you believe he can make 55? That's what blows my mind.
Honestly,
Is
that
he?
guy is a psychopath. Like he probably eats ice cubes for like 2 weeks straight and just like uses it to get him pissed off.
Dude, whenever he was talking to Dan Hardy and he was just like, I mean, give me another fight, 10 minutes, brother. I smash
Yeah,
anybody. I was just
I
like, oh
love that.
my God.
I love that. They're like, so what? I mean, you need a month? You done for this next card? You heading to Vegas? He was like, give me about 10 minutes. He's like a real life villain from like an 80s movie. Like
Yeah.
he makes Ivan Drago look like the phony. Like he's the real Ivan Drago.
Dude, and like he
Like,
puts just like ass whoopings on people before he either submits them or stops them. Like the dude last night, Reese, we'll just go ahead and break this fight down, I guess, and then we can go
no,
back
let's
if you
wait.
want.
Let's wait.
All
Let's
right,
wait because
all right.
that's the
Then
start of the main card, and well, let's
that's
dive
fair.
into these
That's
prelims.
fair. That's fair. Let's go into Castaneda Wood,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
just like honestly kind of like a young lion getting fed. Like Castaneda was tough, don't get me wrong, but this was one where Wood was Nathaniel Wood is like they're trying to build him.
They are
So
trying to build him, and Castaneda was outclassed. I thought Castaneda showed a great chin and great heart and
yeah,
great toughness and great balls and
super game too. He
all
was
those
pushing in the whole time.
yeah, all those intangibles that you like he definitely wasn't flashy, definitely wasn't a super athlete, but those intangibles that you want in your fighter, I mean, he had them. So shout out to him. I mean, like I said, he was outclassed. They were fighting at 135 bantamweight. I do love Castaneda's nickname though, Sexy Mexi.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I
I
like that a
like a guy
lot.
that can kind of not take himself so seriously, like especially in a fight like MMA or in a sport like MMA. Like everybody's like skull crusher, death machine. He's just like Sexy Mexi. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Did you think that they threw like hard shots? Do you think Nathaniel Wood ever like actually sat down on a punch? Because I through the second round, I was thinking like I can't tell if Castaneda was really tough or if Wood just like wasn't fully committing to those shots.
I
Because
think
I
he
think he
was
was
kind of a
nervous.
little bit of both. I think it's just kind of Wood's style to kind of throw more jabs and straights than throw like looping hooks. So I think he might be one of those fighters that like his straight is his kind of quasi power punch.
Right.
Um, he may be kind of he seems like a guy that likes to pace people and test their gas tank as well. So sometimes those little pepper shots can go just kind of to get you to the third, score you some points.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. But I thought he looked nice. I definitely am looking forward to seeing him step up his level of competition. Um, yeah, they were trading good low kicks in the first. They were just trading them back and forth. I did have the first going to Wood in a pretty close fight, or a pretty close round, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Um,
agree.
Round two, I mean, I had Wood winning all three rounds.
Same.
I thought
Same.
round one was the closest round. If I was going to give one to Castaneda, it was one. Round two, Wood started mixing in a lot more head punches to mix in with
Yep.
those low kicks. So that just made that looked really nice. I thought round two was pretty like heavily favored Wood, not that close. These guys were definitely standing and trading. They were definitely down to bang. Little guy bang.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of takedown attempts, not a lot of clinch.
Mhm.
Just a lot of standing and trading, a lot of kickboxing. So
Honestly, like entertaining fight. Like if you're just someone that wants to just watch a fight, like that's not a bad fight to watch because it's pretty technically nice as far as the defense they use with their movement, but also like they were pretty clean with their striking and like Wood was really technically crisp. Like Castaneda was just super
yeah,
down to trade.
exactly. Yeah, it was the classic kind of fighter versus brawler, or martial artist versus puncher, or whatever kind of analogy you want to make. Castaneda wasn't gonna dissect anybody by any means, but he,
Right.
he he was there. He was there to fight, and he was there to scrap, and that's what he did, man. So shout out to him. I don't think he probably has the brightest future in the sport, but he's no pushover.
Right.
Also, I'm trying really hard to act normal right now. I cut my thumb last night when I was like chopping onions, and then I just like ripped it open because my thumb was dry. So I'm over here trying to
Ouch.
just like stone face it right here and just I don't know. But yeah, it was a good fight. Pretty much all Wood. I said Castaneda made it a little challenging, gave him a little bit of a test, but I'm looking forward to Wood. He seems like a pretty young guy, right? Like early
Yeah.
20s, I believe. So he has a bright future. I believe Wood has a nice future in 135. I mean, 135 is full of killers, so we'll see how he does, once he gets against the real murderer. But yeah, great performance for Nathaniel Wood. He won 30-27 unanimous decision. We'll keep it pushing. Good start to the night though. I think I can finally shut up about my curse on
Yeah,
the
that was
opening
like an
prelim.
entertaining prelim opener. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my God. Shocked
definitely.
me.
I like this next fight too. We got Ramazan Emeev versus Nicholas Stolze.
Stolze. Stolze.
Stolze. Yeah, they were fighting at welterweight 170. I'm a big fan of just 170 fights in general. 170 to 205. That's like the sweet spot where you get like real athletes, like guys
Yeah,
that
like monsters.
because like I mean the best 125ers in the world couldn't go play any other sport really. I mean maybe wrestling or boxing, but
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, but these
Right.
guys at 170, 185. I mean these guys are like athletes. Like these guys probably played football, basketball, something else. Um,
Yeah, some of them are like world class athletes, at
yeah,
other sports. Like Jose Aldo was literally a professional soccer player in Brazil when he was 18 and then just chose to go fighting instead.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So yeah, and I think that's common for a lot of these guys that started out in other countries. You know what I mean? But yeah, so just big fan of the 170 weight class, full of killers. Like even no name guys like this are just like that eye test of like these punches are coming hard and fast. Like you know what I mean? Just I don't
what?
know.
So I was interested to hear how you scored this fight because I think we all agree Amib won, right? Like I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so in my opinion, round one was really the only controversy. I gave all
Right.
three rounds to Amiv.
Okay,
But
me
yes,
too. Perfect.
Stolze ended that first round with that big knee that dropped him. But then
Yeah,
Amiv was essentially saved by the bell. That's so crazy how fights can happen like that. Because, I mean, if there's
I
30
know,
more
right?
seconds in that round, it's a
Probably doesn't
Stolze
survive.
knockout.
Hmm.
But he gets saved by the bell and then ends up winning the fight. I mean, 3 rounds to none. So like that's another one of those where if you just look at the box score, it kind of doesn't tell the whole story of that fight either. But it also kind of does because with the exception of the one knee, I thought Amid like dominated. I mean, all
Yeah,
aspects.
I think that's actually, I'll get to it later, but it's a lot like the Evloev and Grundy fight. Like there
Hmm.
was a moment where that was like on one whole side of the spectrum, and then the rest of the fight was the other way.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
definitely. So yeah, I thought Stolte was a rangy kickboxer. I think that with a little more work, he can be dangerous. Like I don't think that he's just like a dud, a flop. Like there's potential there, um, but just has some work to do for sure, for sure. And I mean, going against these Russian guys, I think Amir was Russian. I mean, they're just a
Yeah,
different animal. Like they
I
grow up in a
was.
different culture.
Yeah,
Like how American culture is just soft and just make everything easier and avoid discomfort. Like over there, they kind of lean into that discomfort. Like that.
yeah,
And I mean, that's all. That's what a lot of every fighter will tell you. It's just like accepting the discomfort, leaning into it, embracing it, and that's what they do over there, man. So I mean, those guys are tough as nails. I mean, hell, every Americans like to toot our own horn for winning World War II, but I mean, there's no winning World War II without the Russians. Those are some
no,
tough
yeah,
sons of bitches, man. So yeah, I mean, let me see. I said Stoltz, rangy kickboxer. Yeah, round one was close. Well, it really wasn't close, but the big knee made it close at the end.
right, right, right,
Um,
right.
I thought Amiv had better power and outstruck Stolze in the second round, which I kind of want to touch on that because,
I
like
was
I said,
surprised.
Stolze was the rangy kickboxer. Amiv was kind of a stumpy Russian wrestler, but in round two, Amiv outstruck him. He was
Yeah,
putting them paws on him.
yeah, he had some nice combos, some nice like almost like the way they throw punches when they're like even Khabib is one of those guys that like their punches don't look right when they throw them to me. Like they just don't seem as like I don't know, man. Like
They're
it's
kind
almost like
of an
they loop
awkward.
they're awkward angles they come at because they
Yeah, I
always want to
think it
like
kind
duck and
of.
like roll their shoulders. Like it's so
I
weird.
think it kind of helps them too because like the guys
Yeah.
that they're going against, like you don't spar against that kind of unorthodox kind of. It's almost like a pitcher with a weird arm angle, like a weird arm slot.
Yeah.
It looks different coming like leaving the hand.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I definitely noticed that. I also wanted to notice that like Amif kind of had three different strategies in each round. Like round one, he was kind of wrestling him, taking him down. Round two, he was standing and trading. And then
Yeah.
round three, it was all like clinch work and
On the
knees.
cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
coming
so
off and on the cage in the clinch.
so I mean, Amir doesn't strike me as a world beater, but he does strike me as the definition of well-rounded. Like he literally had a different game plan for each round, and that's dangerous. And I mean, he's definitely tough. So like I said, just athletically, I think Amir's a little bit limited. Like he's definitely no John Jones as far as athletics go, but just being well-rounded, being tough, being a fighter. I mean, he's a good fighter for sure. Um,
Yeah.
but
I would
but
agree
yes,
with that
I'll
100%.
I'll keep an eye out for these guys moving forward. Like I said, I don't neither one of these guys strikes me as rocket ship to the top, but neither one of them struck me as like why are you in this cage either. So
Yeah.
good
That's a good
good
assessment.
performance. Yeah, good performance by those guys. Good fight. I enjoyed it. Um, next was I think it was the only ladies fight on the prelim, I
This fight
believe.
had me so mad the entire time I watched it.
Really? All right, I'll let you kind of kick us off then. I'm
I
interested to hear your thoughts.
I hate it was Betchkohe versus Penny Kiansid, but I hate Betchkohe, man. I hate watching her fight. She's all like blocky and awkward, and I'm pretty sure I see 10 pounds on her body that she could lose and go to
What?
125.
And I'm pretty sure I thought it was Fiona from Shrek whenever I first turned on the
Like, bro,
TV.
like her fight style's ugly. She takes like 150 punches to the head in this fight and looks insanely crazy at the end because of all the swelling on her face.
Well, yeah, and it's weird.
We should talk about the first round and how it ended with the 10-second clap and
Oh
her.
yes. I've been dying to talk about this, but
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, because I was just mad at her physique, to be honest.
Yeah, well, so going back to the physique, we're not necessarily just talking out of our ass here. Like she's 5'1", fighting at bantamweight, which is
Yeah, 135.
135,
Like,
which is like for a female fighter. I mean, that's just like that's a weird build. Like that's a weird like I don't feel like there's a need to really be that like sturdy. Like she could probably drop a weight class and probably fare a little better. But yeah, like I said, that's not just to rag on her like physique. It's just kind of doing herself a disservice.
and she also looks slow. Like she throws slow punches
Yeah,
too. Like I think she needs more conditioning to be real.
no, definitely. So yeah, um, I thought, but I mean, that being said, she did look like the stronger fighter. But I mean,
Way stronger.
you better be if you're 5'1" fighting bantamweight. But yeah, Pani Kianzad, was definitely rangier, definitely a faster, more athletic, fleeter of foot. All of those things that are typically associated with being the more slender, taller fighter. Um, so yeah, as we all know, at the end, towards the end of of the round, with 10 seconds left, they clap two wooden blocks together so the fighters can know that there's 10 seconds left in the round. Whether they need to use that information to survive the round and be saved by the bell, or whether they want to use that information to turn it on real and empty the gas tank in the last 10 seconds.
And
They
that isn't new. That's not a new thing. Like that's
no, and
always
it's been
been the thing.
always like even in boxing they do it too, and pretty much any combat sport I believe.
Right.
And yeah, definitely not Betche or Beth, whatever, Correa, definitely not her first fight. So I don't know what happened here, but she heard the wood blocks clap together to signal 10 seconds remaining in the round. She drops her hand, stops fighting, turns to walk to her corner, and then Kianzad, rightfully so, starts teeing off.
Yeah.
Um, because the round was not over. Protect yourself at all
Correct.
times. And I think she even realized she fucked up. Like I don't think she was like I don't think Correa was trying to insinuate that Keonza did anything out of line. I think she just
No.
was like, oh shit, I fucked up. Like I'm an idiot. Like I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen that ever? Like at any like I used to go to like small time like no name promotions in Oklahoma and I wouldn't even see that. Like that was
Bro,
really weird.
I've never seen that before in my life. And even more to the point, how many other she has a bunch of fights. Like she's fought since before Ronda Rousey. So she's been through so many
Yeah.
fights in the UFC that I don't know how that's not a physical reaction that she hears the blocks and knows it's 10 seconds. Like how does
Yeah.
that like she should hear a horn and it should stop her like as far
And
as physical conditioning.
yeah, I think that like maybe that's proof of how much Keonza was in her head or how worried she was or how just out of it she was. I mean, that's all I can really think of. And I mean, I'm kind of glad that the fight didn't end like that. Like, I'm kind of glad that I'm glad that Keonzon landed some blows because Correa deserved it for being stupid. But like,
Yep.
I'll be real, if she would have dropped her, that would have led to like weird kind of controversy and shit. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad it didn't actually end like that. Who do you think won that first round? Because like, up until that happened, I had it really fucking even. But then Kiamza landed those clean blows, but they were due to the mental error. But I'm not gonna like hold that against Kiamza. So I
Yeah,
guess we,
honestly, I scored it 10-9 for Kianzad only because I was like, I literally going into that like last 15 seconds, I was like, damn, this round's like a real toss up because I was like,
yeah,
Best Correa
exactly. It
might
was
be like
close.
not leading, but she is also like landing hard shots. Like you could
Yeah,
tell she was
yeah,
like sticking her when she did land. So I ended up giving it to Kianzad just because of that flurry at the end. Like she almost could have finished her maybe like
yeah, yeah.
because
No, that makes sense
she
to
did hit
me.
her hard.
Yeah, and I think it was fair to say that like Kianzad was landing more blows, but because Correa was so strong, whenever she would counter back, I mean they were pretty heavy shots. Yeah,
Right, right. How'd you score
yeah.
the second? Because I thought the second, I even put it in my notes, was closer than the first.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know either because Correa had the strong start of the second round. Correa came out strong in the start, and then Kianzad finished strong, which I think
Right.
is due to her better conditioning and her range and athletic ability. So it really just depends how you how you score it. Like we mentioned on the podcast before, though, typically judges tend to favor the end of the round. So just going off that logic, Kianzad finished the second round stronger. So I'd probably give the round two to her. So she was probably up, 2018 going into the third, but it's close. It was still a close fight.
That's what I had it. That's almost exactly what my notes say is super close, more of a toss-up, probably Kianzad for judges, up 20-18.
And I have in all caps trading. Like these women were just letting them go. They were letting them fly. Like it was a very entertaining fight.
I was getting mad at it because Betch Kohea was just making me mad watching her fight because of the way she moves. But that's neither here nor there. Like they were actually, it was a good fight stylistically. It's almost like Stylebender versus Gastelum. Like there's someone that's down to throw hard counter shots and eat shots to land shots.
Yeah.
Like that's Kohea and Gastelum, whereas the other, in Kianzad Adesanya's case in that analogy, they're just cleaner strikers that are just getting counter-struck because they expect someone to not stand there and eat those shots.
Yeah, definitely.
How'd you score round three? Because
I thought round three was the most definitive round for Kianzad.
I thought so too.
Completely honest.
I thought so too.
Kianzad's striking was just so much crisper. And like her ability to get in, land at like one or two shots, and then get out and stay on the outside for the most part. Which, like we mentioned before on the podcast, is much easier said than done. Every rangy fighter says, "Oh, just stay on the outside and don't let it become an ugly fight." But much easier said than done, especially when you're going against a thicky Brazilian. So,
especially like third round and later, once that conditioning starts to hit.
Exactly. So, Kianzad ended up getting the unanimous decision. I think the judges, for the most part, agreed with a lot of the way we scored it.
Yep.
Just Correa, not a horrible performance, just not quite enough to get the win. And like I said, I think she should strongly consider moving down weight classes. Maybe it's because she's a little older that she's not doing that, but I don't know. I'm not her coach, and a lot of people on Twitter were saying that she needs like a new camp or new coaches and shit. So I don't know. Maybe she should look into that, just switching everything up, get a new coach, drop weight classes. Because, I think if them girls were 10 pounds lighter, some of those big shots were dropping, old girl.
That's what I think, too. Like, I think Kohea at 10 pounds lighter could hurt girls. But she's fought so long, she's not going to do that.
No, exactly. That's I think, a big factor in all that stuff. But, yeah, moving on to the next one, his second appearance on the Beefy Boy Breakdown. I'm starting to become
Tanner Boser.
Tanner Boser, yeah. I'm starting to become a fan. The Canadian with the mullet. He drops people, man. He has legit power, which is weird because, and they mentioned it all during the broadcast, he's a really slender heavyweight. Like
250, 245, I think is what he fights at.
I think
he carries it really well.
I think he weighed in at 235, yeah. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's a small heavyweight, but the way he uses it to his advantage. He's way more fleet of foot, especially the guy they had him fighting a fucking tubby ass, stumbling, bumbling.
Pessoa.
Yeah, he was just so uncoordinated and fat that, I guess at this point, I think that was Boser's probably last, like scrub opponent. I think that they're going to want to try to see him, in a real
start building him.
Yeah, so, but yeah, big fan of Tanner Boser. Like I said, he's real light. Like, he could probably make light heavy, but the thing is, he would be a super average light heavy. Like, he wouldn't be that fast. But right now in heavyweight, he's essentially like the fastest, most fleet of foot heavyweight, unless John comes to heavyweight. Like that, so it actually works to his advantage, and that's kind of what they were talking a lot about on the broadcast of just how a lot of people kind of try to tell him to drop down to 205, when in reality, and it's another thing too. Like if his power didn't translate to heavyweight, but clearly it does. So
he throws weird shots too, right? Because his knockout in the first fight we broke down was that karate chop, hammer fist almost over the top, which was crazy, and that was a vicious knockout. But then in this one too, it was this overhand left or a hook, whatever you want to refer to, because it's kind of in between where his knuckles are up, so he catches him in the eye with his knuckles and blinds the dude. The dude thinks it's an eye poke when it's just a punch, and if it's a punch, you have to defend yourself. They don't stop it for that.
Yeah, so, I actually learned that. I guess I had never really taken the time to think about that. But yeah, so if your fist is closed and your knuckle kind of like digs into
Digs
that
in.
eye, they don't stop the fight for that, which makes sense. Like I don't really think they should. It's just kind of one of
Yeah,
those shitty situations that happens. Like
that's how fights happen.
I'll put it this way. Pessoa was not about to win that fight regardless. So if it would have been a closer fight or a more competitive matchup, I would have more of an issue with the fight ending on kind of the pseudo eye gouge. But honestly, it's probably better that that happened. Like it probably just saved him from eating unnecessary blows, to be honest, because he wasn't going to win that
Oh,
fight.
we'll get to unnecessary blows at the end of this fucking prelim.
Oh my God,
Holy
Herb
shit,
Dean just
dude.
sending cattle to
Jesus
the
Christ.
slaughter.
I mean, I fucking all caps on the bottom of my note says Herb Dean. What the fuck?
Yeah, because it wasn't Bisping. Who was the other British guy that they had announcing
Dan
it?
Hardy. Dan Hardy and him almost
He
squared
was,
up.
yeah, they were getting like
Did you hear
real.
what the reported dialogue was? They started arguing, and Dan Hardy's like, "I'm out here trying to save these guys' lives," and then apparently Herb Dean yells back like, "Just do your job, and I'll do mine." And then Dan Hardy yells back at the end. He was like, "Yeah, well then do your fucking job, so we don't have to tell you how to do it to all the people
Yeah,
watching."
and it's so weird because they had some newer like refs that I didn't recognize, and Herb Dean's obviously been in the sport since I think I was born,
Like
and
40 years.
no, seriously. So it's like it felt awkward kind of having to be upset with Herb Dean because he is such a legend, but he was
That's a
wrong.
good
He was
point.
wrong. Like there's right and wrong. Like if there, I feel like if that would have been one of the new refs, we'd probably never see him again. But I mean, it's Herb Dean. Like they can't fire him. They can't even really throw him under the bus. Like he's done so much for the sport, and he's like the definition of a day one. So
He's
like
pretty
I just
much
feel
he's just considered to be the best out there right
the
now.
best ref in the world. So that's why it's just I guess he gets a pass, right? I mean, I guess like that doesn't outweigh all the good refing he's done in his career, but I mean it
Yeah,
was bad.
he had a bad night. It was a bad
Yeah,
night though, because there was multiple fights where I was like, he's letting him eat a little too many. Like I thought the Pessoa one could have been stopped a little sooner because the dude
yeah,
clearly wasn't fighting back, but he also wasn't. He
no,
was defending well, so it was
and he
that
wasn't unconscious.
right. Also, before
Yeah,
we get off the Bozer fight, I would like to note that in his post-fight interview, he acknowledges, which is my only complaint, that his first rounds are going to be boring because he has to figure out how the guy's going to fight him, and he's trying to win rounds on points. He's literally trying to outpoint them in the first round, which I
which
respect.
I'm cool with that, especially the fact that we like how we mentioned he is small for a heavyweight, and he does kind of have to get in and get out and fight on the outside. So it's like I don't have a problem with that. And then he usually because his last knockout was at the beginning of the second round. Excuse me. And this one was at the beginning of the second round. So it's like if you kind of pace the first round but come out balls to the wall in the second, I'm down for that. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I thought he also does a really good job, especially in that first round when he's trying to outpoint. His leg kicks are nice. Like sometimes heavyweights leg kicks are just so slow and lumbering, but
He's quick.
he whips him out there. So I'm excited to see him step up his level of competition because
We
clearly
called
he's
out. I'm
okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
No. I forgot who he called out. So go ahead.
He called out Mo Green again.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, because did he call him out? They
The
already fought
last
once.
time.
Oh,
No,
that's
they were
right.
scheduled to fight, and Mo Green bailed out or missed weight or something like that, so they didn't get to fight. And Tanner Bozer's mad about it because he's like, hey, I'm missing money from that, man. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? So he's trying to run it back, and he's building it well because it's the second time he's called him out. Still missing a tooth. Like, I want to see him fight. I'm invested in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking out for Bozer moving forward, and he's like a likable guy, marketable guy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to him. I'm looking forward to seeing his future in the sport. But yeah, so that was Bozer by TKO in the second.
Dude, the next fight was so dope.
It was.
Evloev and Mike Grundy. I can't say Evloev's first name.
Yeah, I guess Mobsar Evloev. I guess I don't know. That's my attempt at it, but yeah, great fight. He's exciting, man, because he's young, right? He looked young at least.
Who? Evloev?
Yeah, Evloev looked like a
I
young.
think he's born in '94.
Okay,
Pretty
so
sure.
yeah, he's like my
Pretty
age.
sure he's
That's what's up.
exactly our age. He's undefeated. He was a -190 favorite. Now, what I do want to note is he got caught in a deep ass Darce. That was deep
Yeah,
as fuck. But
yeah.
he
Like
never
Felder
panicked
even
at
said it's
any
over.
point.
Felder was like, it was over. And then he was like, I hate when I do that. That was hilarious. Yeah.
I
I don't know, he
love
whipped.
Felder, bro. I
Yeah,
love
no, me
Felder.
too. Me too. Man. He does a great job, man. He makes the fights entertaining.
Makes him
He
fun,
has that,
makes him personable.
yeah, he has that human level exactly, where it doesn't sound like you're like watching a video game like commentary. But yeah, talking about how he got out of that choke, and that wasn't the only like high level reversal he had either. They were
Dude, that throw he had whenever he was in the headlock underneath and threw him over his
yeah,
shoulders. Holy shit.
like it looked like some shit you would see in like a choreographed fight scene in a movie.
Yeah. I'm a
But
big Evloev fan, man. I'm a big Evloev fan. Like I thought he won the second, and then the third was not even close. Like he dominated the third. But Grundy just was literally like a freestyle wrestler, I guess. So he just shot for takedowns the entire time, but could never keep him down. That
yeah,
was the
because like
definition of getting takedowns and not controlling.
yeah, and like I felt like maybe some judges may have gave Grundy the first round because of this
So
the
one of
deep
them did.
submission attempt, and then the two takedowns. But like you said, he wasn't really able to do much with the takedowns. But let me see. Yeah, and then yeah, that was the story of the whole night, where Grundy was
Mm-hmm.
getting a million takedowns. Like if you're one of those people that just
Yeah.
look at the scorecard or look at the box score and see like total takedowns, you'd probably think that Grundy was whooping ass. But like watching the fight live, that just wasn't the case at all. Like because he would take him down. But then at the end, he started like diving and just whiffing for takedowns. They were like thirsty, desperate takedowns. They weren't like,
Thirsty.
yeah, like they weren't like, I'm in control of this, like Usman takedowns, or
Mm-mm.
they were just like, I don't stand a chance on the feet, and I have to just try something to score some points or something. So
Definitely
yeah,
desperation takedowns.
but yeah, Evloev has power for 145 too, and it's like effortless power. It's not like wind up big, like shot power. It's just he just kind of flicks them out there, and they're just heavy, they just thud, like which
He's
is my
clean.
favorite. Yeah, I like him a lot,
Yeah.
especially 45. I feel like 45, not a
Mhm.
whole lot's going on right now. There's a million killers in 35 and a million killers in 55. And I mean, there's killers in 45, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he can make some noise in 45. I feel like 45 needs kind of a new rising star. Um,
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Because Volkanovski and Holloway and Ortega are about it at 45. Like they're trying to build Stun Gun Kim, but like I'm out.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
out.
and I mean, I like Evloev against all those guys you just listed. Like maybe not next fight,
Zabit.
but coming up in these next couple fights, like he gets just a little bit better. You know what I mean? And I think he's gonna cause some waves.
And there's Calvin Cater. 45's deep. I forget about all these 45ers until I start talking about
I
them.
forgot Cater's 45. Man, he's such a
Hmm.
big 45er. He's so
I
big.
know.
Like it doesn't even pass the eye test of like, oh, this guy's a 45er. Like he looks like a
I literally think,
170.
yeah, I literally think of it as I'm like, damn, the most he can cut down is 55. And then you're like, at featherweight, Calvin Cater. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But yeah, so let me see here. Yeah, in
Next
round three,
fight.
Evloev had the takedown and the active hands. Was that
I
was
thought he
was he?
dominated three. I thought he dominated three.
So he got the unanimous decision, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he deserved it. Like I said, I mean, some judge that's obsessed with takedowns may have been able to talk himself into giving Grundy a round, but Evloev won that fight, like he did.
I could see him giving him round one just because that Darce was so deep.
It was deep.
But also like Evloev escaped and recovered super well. So what's the point system on that?
Yeah, yeah, and that's like we've talked about before. There is no point system, so it's
Right.
just whatever somebody happens to pull out of their ass. It's like, fi- like I don't know. It's like this isn't a car show, bro. We need some rules here. Like it's a
I know,
sport.
yeah.
Like
I know.
like
I know. They
like
treat it like
it's
a
not a
dunk. They
dunk
treat it like a dunk
contest.
contest. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like it's more of
Oh
a
my
3-point
god.
contest than a dunk contest. Like there's a clear winner and loser here.
You know
But
what?
yeah,
I was getting a little salty watching these, right? because so many decisions, right? And I'm just trying to watch them because I had them all recorded, and so the next fight made me very appreciative. I was like, thank you for putting heavyweights out there on this card because the heavyweights will finish their fights. They won't go to the scorecard.
Yeah, there was a lot of heavyweights on this fight, which I'm always down for. And on top of that, like I'll say this, yeah, it wasn't. This next fight was a very quick knockout, first round knockout, which I actually can sometimes not be the biggest fan of. But like you said, on a card with so many decisions, I welcomed the early finish for sure. So yeah, it was a heavyweight fight: Tom Aspinall versus Jake Collier. And Collier definitely was first team all chunky.
Do you know he used to fight at 185?
Yeah, which makes
How
it
the
even
fuck?
grosser.
How
Which
the
makes it,
fuck?
yeah, like he just straight up let himself go. Like he didn't stand a chance. Like the minute they told me that fat fuck used to fight at 185, I was like, he's losing. Because like I mean, like
No discipline.
It's impossible to train hard and gain fucking 80 pounds. Like
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Is like, how? Do you have a thyroid condition, man? Like, what the fuck?
like did you break your leg and couldn't run for a year or like something like seriously? Like and I'm not in the best shape ever, but like I'm also not fighting for a living and I'm not. So yeah, he jumped from 185. Did you happen to see how much he weighed in at? I mean,
I think he weighed in at, I think it was 261 or some bullshit.
So like that's like an 80 pounds. Yeah. I was like, he didn't stand a chance. Like that fight was over before it started.
Oh yeah.
And especially once I saw Aspinall, tall, dark, and handsome over there.
Yeah, looking kind of shredded up, 6'5",
yeah,
looking nice.
6'5". Yeah, man. That's definitely the future of the heavyweight division. Like I think the days of us seeing tits in heavyweight fights.
I pray to God they're gone. I pray to God that's gone.
Because, I mean, yeah, you get power, and yeah, there's some kind of cheap, like the same, like a couple episodes back when I was talking about the fat guy in Buffalo Wild Wings that likes watching Paige Van Zant fight. He's the same guy that likes watching fat heavyweights. It's just like a novelty factor.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, the chunky's gonna throw, and it's like,
yeah, yeah. Like I prefer to watch athletes doing athletic events.
Yeah, like Ngannou is awesome to watch. Overeem's awesome to watch. Like guys like that, Stipe, like guys that have good physical physique and heavyweight are the best heavyweights.
Yeah, definitely. And then so he finished him off because I kind of want to talk about how he finished him because it was it was a quick finish, but so he threw like the knee to the body. And then the quickest 1-2 I've ever seen a heavyweight throw.
In my notes, I wrote big knee and then all caps clean 1-2 with 4 exclamation points.
He straight up like turned his head into a speed bag, just like whap, whap, like
pop. That dude was out too when he hit him. Like he was just like,
and he like it was like a 1-2 to the forehead. He just like fell over. So yeah. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Moving forward, I would say Aspinall, big stock, right? Like, I was very impressed with him. I liked him a lot. Collier doesn't need to be in the UFC anymore.
No, he doesn't even need to be fighting at, like, Riverwind. Like,
does that take away from Aspinall's win, though? You see what I'm saying? Like, when you look at it from a hindsight, like...
I'll say this. If it would have finished, if it wouldn't have been such a dramatic finish, I would say yeah. But since he made him look like he didn't belong in the ring with him, I say no. Like that's how I judge those bad matchups. Like the Shimiev fight. Like it's like it looked like Alabama playing Troy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how it's supposed to look. So it's like I kind of have issue with Dana White not giving us a better fight, but you kind of got to get these guys some wins, and especially in heavyweights, the whole puncher's chance thing. So it is what it is. Like I said, in a night full of decisions, it was cool to get a first round finish. I like seeing athletic, new up and coming heavyweights too. So you know what I was thinking too after that, which I guess neither one of them called each other out. But like if I was Dana, I wouldn't mind seeing Aspinall Bozer.
Yeah, that would be cool too. I wouldn't mind that. Although I wouldn't want to do that to Bozer. You know what I mean? Like because you can build both those dudes.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I feel it.
And he deserves Mo Green, goddammit.
Yeah,
Give him
yeah.
Mo Green. I'm going to
But
start
just
tweeting, give him Mo Green.
but just from like an eye test, like that would be a fun fight to watch. So like
Oh,
Aspinall
yeah.
and Bo is
Oh,
just
yeah.
some fleet-footed, athletic heavyweights. I don't know that both can throw kicks and knees and kind of get exotic. I think that'd be a fun matchup. But yeah, Aspinall kind of finishing up that one. Aspinall in his post-fight interview called out Spivak, who we actually did a
Yeah,
Beefy
which
breakdown the other day on.
I would like that fight.
I thought it
What do
was
you
a
think? I
smart
think,
call. I think it was a
yeah,
smart call
smart.
out because I think Aspinall will win. It's a winnable fight,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't
Mm-hmm.
think Spivak is a pushover. Like he's a way better fighter than Collier, way better
Correct.
fighter. And,
That's
and,
exactly
and,
right.
and he just recently fought, so he's kind of in fight fans' memories, you know. And I feel like fight fans like that. Like I know if there's a fight where I know both of these guys, I'm instantly more bought in. You know what I mean? And it just gets me more engaged and more bought in. So yeah, I mean, I hope Spivak accepts that, and I hope they get it in sooner rather than later. Especially because Aspinall took 0 damage. But go ahead and introduce us
Oh,
this next one,
so
brother.
yeah. So we have I forgot to write Dalby's first name.
It's
Nicholas Dalby. I know
yeah,
it. I know it.
Nicholas
It's Nicholas
Dalby.
Dalby because I like him. And then you have Mark Ronson, right? And Dalby's a -280 favorite. They're fighting at welterweight, so 170. Ronson just lands like a crazy nice punch, flash KOs Dalby, drops him, and then essentially has Dalby kind of in Tweety Bird land and sinks in the rear naked. Honestly, it was crazy
Yeah,
because Dalby looked huge. Like Dalby is a natural 170, and Ronson went up to 170 to make the fight happen.
I was just
And so he
about
looked
to
small.
I was just about to bring that up. How the smaller man beat the fuck out of the bigger man.
Yep.
With power. With power. It wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
he peppered him or jujitsu'd him or no, like he took I don't know, he beat him at his own game essentially, which I always think is cool. Because like it was noticeable, like the eye test was weird. Like it didn't look like they were in the same weight class.
Correct. Yeah.
Like it didn't like they looked like two different sized men. Like just looking at it, just like if you walked by the TV and didn't know anything about it, you'd be like, why are these two guys like fighting each other? Like,
Oh
so
yeah.
so
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought that was interesting too for sure, and that happened in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fight was over quick. I mean, we had back-to-back finishes, which for anyone that was watching at home live, probably a lot of commercials you had to deal with. But also 8 fights on the card, so really not that many commercials.
Yeah, they kept it pushing. They kept it pushing,
They
which was
had
always
to.
nice. Do you think that before the big flash knockout, I thought Dalby was actually, I mean, granted, it wasn't for
Dalby
a
was
long
pressing
time
the
at
pace
all.
and winning,
Yeah,
to be honest. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then that came out of fucking nowhere. Like
Yeah.
especially because Dalby was the bigger man. Like I was kind of like, ooh, this isn't looking so hot for Ronson. And then, goddamn, you sneeze, and the next thing you know, fucking Dalby's getting choked out and dropped. So it kind of came out of nowhere. Like I feel like it was just one of those timing things, like one of those timing punches. You know what I'm saying? Like timing can
Oh
be
yeah.
power and speed. It was just like perfect timing. Um,
Well,
so honestly, I don't think we learned enough about either of these guys, to be honest, because it was kind of a fluky knockout. Neither one of those
yeah.
cardio got tested. So I mean, honestly, like we'll just see what happens moving forward. You know what I'm saying with both of these guys, because it
Yeah.
was
I
kind of
mean, if
we didn't
nothing
get to
else,
learn too much.
it's like Dalby can kind of be like, yeah, it's just like a lucky flash KO. Like, he just dropped me with the lucky shot, like whatever. And then Ronson can honestly add it as a feather in his cap, but it's not really
And that
going
I
to
have
mean
power.
anything to either guy.
No, I don't think it hurt Dalby too much, and I don't think it helped Ronson too much. But
Okay,
it was a good KO for Ronson. I'm not trying to take that away from him.
we got to get this last fight in before because I don't know where we're at with our hour. It doesn't even matter. The point is that this is the Herb Dean fight that we were talking about earlier, and it's also the end
Yes.
of the prelims. And also, Trinaldo missed weight by 4 pounds, which pisses me off because I hate when guys miss weight and win. I hate that.
Yeah, there was so many controversial things about this fight. Like, so yeah,
Oh man,
not only
Herbert's
did he miss
knees were
weight,
clean. Herbert's
he
knees were
missed
clean.
Trinaldo. So it's Francisco Trinaldo versus Jai Herbert. to just off the top, Trinaldo missed weight by like 4.5 pounds. Like it wasn't even close.
Right.
Right? Like I don't even think he did a weight cut. He just said fuck it. And then
It sounds like he did a weight. He's 42, so it sounds like he did a weight cut and it went bad. You know what I'm saying? He was looking gassed in the second.
yeah, and then and then also important to know, I thought or not I thought facts. Herbert had a 7-inch reach advantage, and it was Herbert's debut, his UFC debut.
I liked Herbert a lot. Like they were trying to give him a name to build himself on, and he was doing it. And
Yeah.
the dude missed weight. It was crazy. Like, would you have scored the first round for Herbert or for Trinaldo? Because it was close first round. I just thought the knees at the end were just like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I literally have that it was a close first round, and each guy had their moments. Like real talk, each guy had their moments. I thought Herbert had more gas in his tank through 2. I think that was like it's crazy because Herbert ended up losing, but I thought Herbert was winning the fight. He had more gas in his tank. He was kind of doing more what he wanted to do, I thought.
Yeah.
But then in round 3 it was kind of like similar to the Ronson KO. It just happened later in the fight. It just like I felt like it kind of came out of nowhere.
It came out of literally nowhere, so much so that Herbert is like frozen, body locked on the ground, knocked out.
Yeah,
Trinaldo's trying to walk away, and Herb Dean's like tell him finish the fight, and everybody in attendance and watching from their house is like,
everybody.
What do you mean finish the fight?
Yeah,
and forces Trinaldo to drill him like 6 times in the face before he's like calls a fight. Dan Hardy and Paul Felder are out of their chairs screaming at Herb Dean to stop it. That shit was embarrassing.
That was some straight up like Karate Kid sweep the leg shit.
Yeah.
No, like it was like evil. Like it was nefarious. Like it was not like athletic. It wasn't sport at that point. That was like weird. Like man, I don't know, man. I don't know what that was.
It was fucked up, dude. It was like
like that was
like
the Mortal Kombat finish him. Like Herb Dean wanted him to fucking like rip his head off his shoulders or something.
Yeah, it was almost like Herb Dean was like, "Hey, bro, I had you winning by KO, not TK, or by TKO, not KO. Like, come over here and let me stop you."
Like that was the worst one I've ever seen. I've watched quite a bit of fights in my life. The thing is that like, and I kind of don't like that about the UFC is that we never really get a KO. They're all TKO because of stuff like that. Like that was a KO, bro. Like that was.
I wrote it as KO. I fuck all that bullshit when they do the TKO. Like if a dude is like asleep, like same with Aspinall, he fucking knocked him out. Like that, there was a 1-2 where the dude dropped to his forearms. Didn't even catch himself on his hands. Like hit it on his forearms.
Yeah,
and then ate 2 shots. Like that's a KO, pretty much, man.
A KO, like. And I thought this one was even worse than the Aspinall one because like his body was like rigid, like stiff.
He was like bored,
Yeah,
stiff.
like if you've ever seen somebody get knocked out or like a bad football hit, or I mean, like in a street fight or whatever, and they go bored stiff, like he probably pissed himself too. Like every time I've seen a guy go bored stiff, they usually piss themselves or have seizures or something. Like that guy was out. And yeah, like I said, Herb Dean. I mean, he's a legend. I really kind of feel like not bad, but like who am I to rip Herb Dean? But I mean, he was just unanimously in the wrong. Like, I don't think that there's going to be a single person. Like, I don't think the most savage person is going to support that. Like, there's no way. What like UFC fought hard and long to get away from that type of blood sport image. Like, you know what I'm saying? That to legitimize the sport, you know, it's on ESPN now. Like I said, we always crack jokes about how it used to be like in the porn section, like behind the beat. VHS is like it was like a dirty smut snuff film back in the day, back when you could knee people on the ground and shit. And the UFC's fought like a 20-year PR battle to kind of get out from underneath that. And then I don't know. That just doesn't do the sport any favors when Herb Dean makes people Mortal Kombat finish people.
And it doesn't do justice for Trinaldo because he should get a walk-off KO for like a highlight. And it doesn't do justice to Herbert because he's young and doesn't need to take those shots.
Yeah, like seriously, like that probably like we don't know this for a fact, but like that could have potentially like shortened his career. Like you know what I mean? Like
Even if it's by 8 months, like that's
on the back
still.
end, on the back
Hmm.
end, like he'll be fine now, like in the short
Right.
term. Like when that fool's 38, 39, like that type of shit comes back to bite you in the ass, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's the shit that you don't forget, or that you do forget because you could never remember it. You know what I mean?
yeah, like yeah, no, I was not a fan of that. Like shame on you, Herb Dean. Like you
Left a
I
bad
don't
taste in your mouth at the end of the prelims too, which
yeah,
kind of
because there was a
sucked.
great prelim card, and then it just ended on that note, and it was just
I know.
like, and it kind of ruined the KO. I mean, there was two things. A, like when a guy that misses weight by 4 pounds wins by vicious KO, that kind of
I
just
don't love that. I
that's
don't
yeah,
love
that
that.
kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And then you add on the screwy, sketchy. I don't even want to say stop it, like non-stoppage on top
Right.
of that, and it didn't leave me feeling good about that. But yeah, so that wraps up the prelim part one, and we got this beefy main card to get to, bro. Hell of a prelim card. Like we said, it kind of left a bad taste with our mouths with that shitty non-stoppage by Herb Dean on the Francisco Trinaldo knockout of Jai Herbert. But onward and upward, right to this main
Yep.
card, and
Yep.
it was a hell of a main card for multiple reasons. I mean, full of big names. We got our new favorite fighter on here to start things off.
Yeah, dude, the
Yeah, man.
start and finish to this, the main event, start and finish, so good, and so many different and cool things in between those two fights.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so we start the main card off with our boy Kamzat Shimaev, which a week ago I couldn't pronounce
Shit,
his
my,
name,
yeah.
and now he's like my favorite thing to ever enter the octagon, man. He's a fucking Terminator.
That's what that C is for, Shimaev.
Oh, there we go. Yep, we repping. We repping hard. And
No,
man,
man,
this guy is a fucking murderer, bro.
he's a problem. I just looked it up actually in the break between the prelim card, which if you're watching this main card and don't know about the prelim card, if you are interested in the prelims, 8 fights on this one. Go back and watch it. It's our first breakdown. But he has outstruck his opponents 192-2 in the last 2 fights.
In case you weren't aware of with MMA, that's very good. No, that's like impossibly good. That's
Yeah, that's improbably good. You know what I mean?
that's like whenever OU beat A&M 77-0. Like
Right.
that's a skunking and ass whooping past the sticks, like 21 skunk. Like that is just like flawless victory in Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Yep.
Shemaev's out here doing this to train professionals in two different weight classes, and apparently he can make three different weight classes. He said that he's down to fight from 55 to 85, which is
Which
just
is
insane.
makes me smile so big when he says that because I'm just like, all right, man. I mean, I would love to see it. Like his frame could carry 185. Like he might be a little small, not even
I think that's what this last fight was at, was 185.
170.
It was at 170. Then the fight before that was at 85.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
bro,
thought
that's
he
what
fought
I'm
at
saying.
55 last time.
No, it was 85 and 70. So I don't know if the last one was 85
Wow.
or this one was 85. But yeah, and it would kind of make sense to me that it was this one at 85 because it was the short turnaround. You know what I mean? So he didn't have time for a
Yeah,
weight cut.
but
So
I
I'm
mean,
pretty god
I do have it written though as 70.
70 for sure. Well, either way, this guy's a savage. So he set the record first for fastest turnaround in UFC history. So he fought 10 days ago. We just broke this full down. And then he fought 10 days ago, and then he fought again yesterday, which was already the fastest turnaround, 10 days. Nobody's ever done that before. And then since he also won, it also sets another record of shortest time between wins in UFC history. So
And
since
he
oh, go ahead.
dominated both wins. Like
Yeah,
neither were
yeah.
close at all. At
No,
all.
no. And it's one of those things where it's like, why do they keep giving him these guys? But like, you can't just give a new guy just straight to the top five. Like, you literally have to make him work his way up. But man, is he just making short work? I mean, it's just like it feels like we're watching like 1 seed versus 8 seed in NBA playoffs. Like it's just like this doesn't stand a chance. Like, but
Right, like
it's
you,
just like
yeah,
a
like
formality. Like we have to
right,
play these 4 games. Like
yeah, like hey, we're gonna sweep you, but like we're gonna do it nicely. Like we're gonna use the push broom.
yeah. So and I guess we haven't even mentioned who he fought yet because I mean it kind of doesn't matter at all. But
Reese McKee, who's actually like someone that's been in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he fought John Phillips 10 days ago, and that was kind of like a nobody like that we had heard of. Reese McKee is an actual UFC fighter that needed a replacement, and Shimaev was just like, well, I can do that, and it was like,
Yeah, light work.
oh,
Did you
okay,
see the betting odds when the fight started? It was up to
minus.
minus 1,200.
Yeah,
Twelve hundred. So
I have all the odds written in here too.
so for those that aren't the most super familiar with sports betting or the verbiage can get a little tricky. That means you have to bet $1,200 to win $100. That's
Yeah.
how like sure Vegas was that Shimaev was gonna win.
Hmm.
Uh, so man, this minus 1,200. I mean, you think anybody laid the 12?
No,
I'm sure.
no, 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 no. I mean, you could have put like $2 million on him and like made a little bit of profit that way because it was
That,
guaranteed.
that's guaranteed for sure. So yeah, it was a first round TKO for Shimaev. He didn't even get touched, I don't believe.
Zero
At least
punches landed.
zero punches. That's not zero significant. That's like zero, like anything at all. I don't even think he got breathed on.
To be honest, I
Uh,
don't know that McKee even threw a punch. I think
like
I'm
it was,
pretty sure Shimaev shot in, took him down, and then just landed 70 shots from Dagestani hand control.
and it's crazy because he could generate power from just like this far, like a little 6-inch punch, just like pop, pop. But it has as much, it had as much force as like a lot of guys straights. Like it was like big shots, but just from like this awkward like ground and pound, like he literally just pummeled him. Like they weren't even
Yeah.
clean shots. They weren't even direct shots. They weren't even like they were like the side of the head. It just didn't matter. He just like literally just made his brain bounce fucking all over his skull
It's
until he
just
couldn't do it anymore.
like when you're the ref and you see a guy not land one shot and take 70, like you got to step in and just be like, all right, like this is an ass whooping. Like it's just an
Yeah,
ass
man.
whooping.
Good thing we didn't have because Herb wasn't repping that one.
Oh my
So good
god.
thing fucking Riz McKee would have fucking had to get hella vacked out of the goddamn octagon if Herb Dean was fucking
Oh my
repping that one.
god. Who do
But
you
yeah,
give Shimaev next? Who do you give Shimaev next?
I get that question would be a lot easier to answer if this crazy fucker didn't fight in 3 different weight classes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, but I guess give him fucking anyone, you know? Because
Yeah,
he'll
like
smash anybody. That's apparently according to him.
yeah, that's what he said after the fight. He was like, because they were asking him the same question that we're kind of talking about, like, so what's next for you, Shimaev? And he's just like, what do you say? Give me 10 minutes and I can be back out here.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, give me 10 minutes, brother. I come back, I smash anybody. Anybody. 70
Like,
kilos, 84 kilos, I smash anybody. I was like, holy shit.
yeah, man. So it sucks because like I want to get greedy and just give him a top 10 guy just for like my own viewing pleasure. But I mean, I think the next logical jump, I mean, they have to give him somebody ranked. I imagine it'll be like a low ranking, like a 15 to 13 ranked, probably 170. I imagine is probably where
Yeah.
Dana's gonna want to have him fight at. I think, but I don't know. I don't know these.
I'm trying to think about
Because
who
it's
I'd have
weird.
him.
Because with these guys that fight multiple weight classes, it's kind of hard to do on your way up because you don't really gain any ground in any one division. Like usually, typically how this works is you fucking mop your way through one division. You know what I'm saying? And then you start taking other belts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You usually don't change like hop around weight classes on your way up because it slows your ascend in the rankings. But Shimaev might be so much of a fucking unicorn. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
it may, I could see him not taking the traditional path. And like, he also strikes me as a guy that doesn't give a fuck about fame either. So it's like a lot of times these fighters are wanting big names to build their brand and build their draw and build their social media following. But Shimaev, I think he'd like legitimately just likes hurting people.
Yeah, like I
Like,
think he just is like, I will dominate any man you put in front of me. I
and
just
I
need to prove that
imagine
I can
like,
dominate. And like I want to see him
yeah,
go to work like the Terminator because that shit is entertaining as hell.
and it's like I imagine 50 racks goes a lot further in Dagestan than it does, here in San Jose. So I
And
mean,
has to go so much further.
and so much further. So I mean, I'm sure he's like I said, he just doesn't strike me as a guy who's like necessarily like trying to reach the top. But I think it's like inevitable, kind of like Khabib, where like
Yeah.
Khabib doesn't really give a shit about being famous, or he just like put
Just
whoever
wants
you
to
put in
smash
front of me,
anyone.
I'm gonna exactly. So
Which I love seeing that as a fan. And actually, this
yeah,
might be a good transition to the next fight too, because like, do you think giving him someone like Oliveira, Cowboy Oliveira, would be too much, or you think that's about right?
I think it's about right. I'm
Okay.
really glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that because, like you said, perfect transition for one, and
Fought
B,
the same night, both won. Oliveira didn't take
and
a bunch of damage.
and Oliveira is so different from these other guys Shimavs have
Right.
fought. Like
Right.
like me, I love my fancy kicks, and like is it Oliveira or Oliveira?
I think it's Oliveira. It's like
Olive
Oliveira.
Garden.
Yeah, Olive Garden. Yeah, welcome. We have breadsticks on the counter.
Yeah, all you can eat, dog. But fucking his kicks were just great to me, and like it's not just that they looked pretty. Like he was really effective at throwing him, and they really helped him keep his distance. I
Hmm.
do think that if Shimaev did get his hands on him, it would probably be over pretty quick.
But
Uh,
Oliveira is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
yeah, yeah, but I swear that fucking Dagestan shit just like like has anybody been effective in using jujitsu against that? Like I don't think so. Like I think that
Nah.
shit beats jujitsu. Like I think we may be having like a fundamental like pole shift in like MMA grappling to where guys may not go to Brazil anymore. Like they may be going to Dagestan if they're even like allowed in their country or whatever. I don't know how
It
that works,
it
but
it seems like the move for the Dagestan guys is get side control or like half guard and then try and reach around their back and grab their arm from underneath and like pin one of your arms down and then they just beat the shit out of you with the other hand because they're like if you have one hand to defend and I control your posture with your arm, then I'm just gonna feed punches over and under and over and under until you just
because they're
go
not
out.
trying to submit. I think that's another thing too why jujitsu is not as effective. Like, and I don't want to oversimplify what these Dagestani guys do, but jujitsu is a very like 3-dimensional chess, very intellectual game, and these guys aren't there to think hard. They are there to pummel, like
They're
just inflict
smashing,
pain,
like literally
smash.
smashing.
And I think it's like when a nerd tries to talk his way out of an ass whooping and it just
Right.
pisses off the guy and gets beat up worse. Like I think that's what happens whenever you try to use jujitsu against this Dagestani style of wrestling. It's like, dog, you're not about to think your way out of this. Like, like you're not like I don't know.
It's like an iPhone meeting a hammer. Like, yeah, that
Yeah,
iPhone can go on the internet, but when this hammer hits that iPhone, one of us is winning.
no, no, seriously. I mean, we're talking more about this hypothetical fight than we're actually talking about the real fight.
I
But
guess we should get
it's
on
just,
to Oliveira's fight to like
yeah.
talk
But
about where he's at.
I'm in love with Shimaev, man.
Dude,
And
he's so good.
he's
He's
so
so good.
entertaining, so dominant. It's like what if Kamaru Usman like wasn't boring? You know what I'm saying? It's because it's
Yeah,
kind of similar,
yeah,
but just more
it is.
aggressive, just
It's
more
it's
foot on the like if a
yeah.
Kamaru Usman had his foot on the gas, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's what it
At,
is.
at,
It's
at,
like they take the meter, like the blinders are off the horse. Like it's like running
yeah,
free, which I
yeah,
want to see.
yep, yep. Because it's weird. Like you think that shit would be boring, and I've kind of accused Khabib of being boring, but like Shimaev just adds that little bit of razzle dazzle, and his post fight interviews are entertaining as fuck. And
Speaks English
so
well, so we can
yeah, so I
understand
think
him.
I think it's just exciting enough. Like it's not McGregor or O'Malley style, but it's not. It's just exciting enough, and it's so dominant. But yeah, so we got Alex Oliveira versus Peter Sabata. They were fighting at welterweight 170. Um, round one, they were both standing and trading. But I give round one to Oliveira just because like The
Same.
damage from those kicks, man. The damage from those
The
kicks
body
was
shots. The
body
body
shot.
shots.
Yeah, he reminded me. Who was the other guy we fell in love with his Muay Thai body kicks the other day?
Oh,
Sazeev
Fiziev.
or
Fiziev.
Fiziev. Yeah, he
Or
reminded me of
Fiziev,
like
yeah,
a
Fiziev, yeah.
he reminded me of like a flashier, more exotic version of Fiziev, but like a rangier, more athletic Fiziev. Because like he was using those body kicks very similar to I felt like how Fiziev was using the body kicks. They were just like a different style of body kicks, but just like when and how he was choosing to use them kind of reminded me of Fiziev a little bit.
Right, yeah, I agree. I agree entirely.
Um,
And honestly,
and
Oliveira
then
was really good at like baiting Sabata into engaging and then countering from that.
Yeah, definitely that. And Sabata was kind of the stumpier fighter, and so
Hmm.
like once again, shout out to Oliveira for being able to keep the distance with those kicks. Because like I said, I say this a million times, but every tall fighter's coach just tells him, oh, just do that, just keep him away with you with the kickboxing, just keep the distance. But it's hard to do, man. Not a lot of people can do it. So like when people can exit, it's just like when a football team says they're going to run 46 power. It's the simplest play in the playbook, but executing that at a high level and being effective with it on the way to a victory is very different than just calling the play.
And
And
sometimes it's hard to run power schemes into a 46 defense, so you got to do it like a zone scheme. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
there's certain things like that where it really is a matchups make this or styles make the fight.
totally. And then man, round two was just such a shit show
Ah, the
with the low
poke, the
blow
low
and the eye
kick.
gouge. So
God damn it, I
it's
hated
like
it.
I don't know, like I I was kind of like I don't know. It's hard to score those rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of round two, Oliveira did drop Sabata.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that kind of cemented the round. So I mean, I had a 2018 going into three for Oliveira.
Yep. Me too. I wrote him up 2018 after two for sure. I agree.
And then round three, Oliveira just kind of
More of the
stayed on
same.
brand with the body kicks. Yep. And I think so. I think Oliveira won all three rounds. I don't think there's really an argument for Sabata. It's weird. Sabata didn't look horrible. Like it
Didn't
wasn't a
look great though
complete.
either.
Yeah. Like he did enough to like not get dropped. Like you know what I'm saying. Like,
Right. You're right. Yeah.
but there wasn't a whole lot of offense from Sabata. It's just he had zero answer for those body kicks.
This was a
And
weird.
shut up. Oh, go ahead, bro.
It was a weird fight for me just because I don't feel like this gave Oliveira a lot of stock, but it was a pretty dangerous opponent. Just not a lot of people know who Peter Sabata is. So
Yeah,
it's a
I'm looking
weird
forward to.
spot.
I think Oliveira, like his next fight, needs to be step
Shimaev.
up. I would love to see it. Would you not? I mean, I
I
don't
think
think he
it's
would
good.
win. I don't think he would win, but I think it's like a notch up for both of them. Like Oliveira's way better than anybody Shimaev's fought. And after an impressive victory like that, and maybe that's the key secret to beating a Dagestani, if you can just keep the distance with body kicks and land some gnarly body kicks. I mean, I don't think Shimaev feels pain, but I mean,
Right? Yeah. I think he's a mental terminator, but also if there's a way, it might
that,
be like a low calf kick or a body kick, you know?
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Like I said, we always like to mention, they have the same amount of rest. Neither guy took a lot of damage. I mean, Oliveira obviously took more damage than Shimaev, but nothing
Shimaev
that
took
should be
none.
too. Yeah. And so it shouldn't be. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That name I'd throw in the hat.
I like
So
that
yeah,
fight.
next fight was a good one too, man. Paul Craig, and good luck on this name. Godzimurad and Antigulov. Fuck me.
Yeah, and Tagulov is like I'm his first name is out the fucking books, dude.
Yeah, so a lot of vowels in there, a lot of V's.
a lot of weird consonants followed with too many vowels.
Yeah, but so there's light heavyweight fighting at 205. Was this the first light heavyweight fight of the night?
Yeah, did you also notice Paul Craig's nickname?
No, what was it?
The Bear Jew.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Scottish Bear Jew apparently. Which to me, I was laughing so hard. I wrote in my notes, "Craig is the Bear Jew?" question mark.
That's dope.
But then, dude, that triangle was beautiful.
Yeah, and apparently that's like his signature move. Like apparently I think it's his third one, I believe, maybe
Yeah.
his third or fourth. And so, yeah, I mean, look out because, man, guys that can execute that triangle choke, and we talk about being dangerous from your back all the time, but it seems to be super effective. It happened the other night. It happened on was that last Saturday? There was some
Yeah,
triangle,
yeah,
and then we watched it again. So I mean, from the best, especially it seems to be like guys with long ass legs can really get good leverage on that triangle. And
yeah. Last week,
he
Amir
has long ass
Al-Bazi.
legs.
It was Amir
Yep,
Al-Bazi.
Abazi. That's right. That's right. So yeah, I mean, I like we talk about it all the time. We love seeing those exotic finishes. Like I said, any guy that's dangerous from his back is dangerous. Period.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying. Like if you get them
Like,
on their back, you're
usually what would be a dominant position is now another place where you have to see a 50-50 fight happen. So it's like,
yeah.
it just makes it a better fight.
And he was like tall and rangy too, which is
Yeah.
cool because he can keep it on the outside with the kickboxing. And then if he ends up on the ground, I mean he can clearly finish from the bottom, and is clearly a good grappler and good at jiu-jitsu. So I mean I think he's a dangerous fighter. I mean I'm not saying world beater or anything, but I mean I think he's a good matchup for especially in 205 right now. I thought that oh, I also have written down Antigulov is first team all ugly. It's like, dog,
Yes.
you can't have a body like that
Yes.
and a face like that.
Holy shit, dude. Holy Gamarazad Antagulov. Fucking
Fucking
a
hey.
name like that, a face like that, a bot like it's all bad. It's
See, we
all
don't we, we
bad.
don't we don't just critique the ladies too, yeah, everybody. Fucking Antigulov definitely. Maybe he can get a date with the old girl from earlier, fucking
Dude, if anything,
Fiona.
Betch
But
Kohea is first team all beef. Like we should be on her side, but I
yeah,
cannot stand watching her fight.
yeah, no doubt. And yeah, I mean the first round triangle choke, not a whole lot to break down, just besides the fact that I'll be looking
Yeah.
up for Paul Craig's triangle chokes on the from now on. Where
Yes,
was he
sir.
from? Was he a
Scotland.
Brit? Scotland,
Scotland.
that's right. That's right. Shout out Scotland.
Could barely
My boy,
understand him in his post fight interview.
it's crazy how different they sound. My boy, one of my best friends, Daryl Fields. Shout out Daryl and his wife Nicole Fields. Nicole, she's from Scotland, and like we would always kick
Oh,
it. Yeah, we'd always kick it in college and shit. And like my favorite word to hear a Scottish person say is either taco or nacho, because they don't do the soft A, so they say taco or nacho.
yeah,
Like
nachos.
yeah. And so I don't know. We would always give her shit and be like, "Hey, Nicole, you want to run and get us some tacos?" But yeah, so I have I have a soft spot in my heart for the Scots. I know some good Scottish people. But yeah, man, Paul Craig's triangle chokes are nasty. Yo. I'll keep it pushing on to Carla Esparza and Marina Rodriguez. This was a dope fight. This may have been my favorite fight of the night.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was up there, bro. I mean, I liked it. I liked it a
I,
lot. I mean, I do like.
I thought the last fight was probably the best. Still, I
Yeah,
agree with what you're saying. This fight was definitely second best. Like if you're gonna say
yeah,
fight of the
yeah.
night, this was probably more deserving of fight of the night than Whitaker or Till because they're gonna get paid no matter what. So like, if people that are not gonna get paid need to get paid, like give it to Rodriguez and Esparza because they put on a show. It went back and forth. It was a nice display.
Both
I
ranked
disagree.
fighters.
I disagree with the decision. In fact.
Really? See, I don't. I was on. Well, I'll be real. Was it just Esparza's eye that made you feel that way?
No, I thought. Okay, let me see. I thought that Rodriguez won the first round.
Me
Even though
too. Me
Esparza was
too.
on top, I thought Rodriguez was doing more damage.
No, me
Right.
too. Me too. I gave round one to Rodriguez.
And then I even wrote in my notes, and I guess I'm not mad about this because in my notes I do have Esparza does much better in second, wild finish to the round, toss up round.
And it was a split decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then I do
So
have in my notes as well, I think Esparza won the third. No idea who wins this fight. So, like, I can't be mad.
yeah.
I
Well,
just
so
think that if on the 50-50 flip, I think I might have given the second to Rodriguez.
So the thing is, obviously, in the first round, well, it was the first round whenever Rodriguez split Esparza's eye, right?
Badly.
And then,
Yeah,
and then,
badly.
and then Esparza had a goddamn goose egg and a bleeding goose egg for the rest of the fight.
Yep.
So I'm kind of shocked that the judges just on that surface eye test, because Esparza's face was bleeding everywhere. Like, she looked like if you just took a picture of the two fighters and said who won this fight, then Rodriguez definitely won. Because
Right,
Esparza's
right,
face
right,
was
right.
beat the fuck up. And sometimes judges use that, let that influence them. But I thought in round two, Esparza's ground and pound was so effective. I thought she not only had a lot of like control time, but also did a lot of damage with that control, which we always talk about these guys that, have takedowns or take control, but don't do a lot with it. She was super active with the ground and pound. So that's what I thought gave Esparza round two. And then both ladies did a phenomenal job of letting those elbows fly. Jesus
I
Christ,
know.
I would love to see just the total elbows thrown, not strikes, but just elbows. Like there was a fuck ton of elbows, fuck ton of elbows landed for both sides because the
Yeah,
elbow
Rodriguez
from the
threw only
bottom,
elbows from the bottom. Only elbows
yeah,
from
and,
the
and
bottom.
that's what split Esparza's eye. And then Esparza's like, "Oh, bitch, we're throwing elbows. I can throw elbows too, bitch." And then she started dropping bows from the ground and pound, especially in the third. I had a round three, Esparza had the ground and pound elbows and the takedowns. I think
Right.
so
She
that's what I
definitely won the
think.
third. She definitely won the
Yeah.
third, as far as it did. And I
So I
definitely
just
think Rodriguez won the first, to be honest. I think the
yeah,
second
me
round
too.
is.
I
I
think
think the
the
second
second.
round is just how you want to how you would score it.
Yeah,
So you know
I
what I
don't know.
mean?
I give a lot of credit to that ground and pound. I people that can like cause damage while being on top, while after getting the takedown, like to me that just I don't know. To me that just that deserves points for sure.
Did you see the one judge that scored at 30-27 for Esparza?
Yeah, that was
Fucking
whack.
what?
Yeah, that was
What?
whack. Like I'll be real. Like after round one, I thought Rodriguez was gonna just like fuck Esparza up, but Esparza showed a great chin and a great
And great
heart, and
heart.
like she was
Hmm.
coming forward. And it's crazy because Rodriguez did do a good job. Super accurate puncher. Did you notice like every
Yeah,
single
dude.
shot was right on that goose egg? Like I thought the goose
Yeah.
egg was literally gonna like explode. Like
Explode.
she
Yeah.
was just dotting that goose egg like right on it, right fucking on it. Like that had to suck ass. And Esparza, I mean, she just like I mean, I know the adrenaline's going and all that, but she did a great job just like compartmentalizing like her game plan and her
Right.
offense and her ability to keep coming forward. Because dude, that shit had to suck, man. Because like, I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, having your eye split towards the end of the fight, but dude, having your eye split and swollen in the very beginning of the first round, and then going a 3-round war where you're just getting dotted right on that goose egg, like I don't know. And that also to me, like that's not something you really score, but just eye test wise, that made me lean as far as a two, just because she was so badass about it. You know what I mean? She definitely
Yeah,
had a chance.
I think if this went either way, I wouldn't be upset. And honestly, after talking about it, like I think it's more 50-50 than I even gave it credit for
Yeah,
last night.
yeah, and
And it
it was a
also like
split.
it was really good for. I usually have problems with the lower weights. Like this is the lowest weight that exists, 115. And I
Yeah.
thought these girls did a great job.
Well,
Like it was
and it
entertaining
also
as hell.
is entertaining, and it shows that you can cause damage at 115 pounds. Like, you
You
know
just
what I
got to know
mean?
how
Like,
to do it. Yeah,
yeah, bows are super dangerous. I think
bows and knees, baby.
more straw weights need to throw more bows. I think because just a straw weight with a punch is just not going to do that much. In most cases. I
I
also thought
love
it
the
was like
fact.
the best on paper matchup, 7 versus 9.
Mhm.
Like especially like that was a good like equally. Some of these matchups we got in this card were like seemed random. Like why are these guys fighting? Like we're just trying to put on fights. Check fights off their contracts. You know what I'm saying? But this actually
Right.
seemed like a relevant fight with implications to the rankings. And then actually, did you hear what Dana was saying? I think it was actually before these fights on Instagram. Dana White kind of does the pre-fight kind of like look out for these people or whatever on Instagram, and he was saying that he broke down the strawweight division. So even though Esparza's ranked 7, she may fuck around and get a title shot because there's like a bunch of girls. There's like a girl that's pregnant. There's a bunch of girls like there's a girl having surgery. Like he went through the list. I think the only girl in the top that's ranks above Esparza besides Zhang is that doesn't have something going on right now is Joanna, and I believe something happened where I forget if Esparza beat Joanna or Joanna's already lost to Zhang, I think twice or
Yeah,
something like that.
she's
To
like
where
she lost last.
so like it doesn't make sense to give her the title shot. And Dana went down the list. Like one girl was pregnant. Rose's face is all fucked up. Like she had to have surgery on her face. Some other girl, like they're just like everybody had something. Like everybody had like
When's
a reason.
when's Tatiana Suarez coming back? Tatiana
And I'm
Suarez is
not
going to be the
sure.
champion in that division. She's going to be the champion.
After we get off this, go look up on Dana White's IGTV, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And
Okay.
anybody watching this should check that out too, because he goes through the whole list. And like I said, it's escaping me like the exact like names, but like literally every single person ranked above Esparza, besides Joanna and Zhang, they all had something. Like I said, one of them was pregnant, one of them had a broken nose, one of them had this, one of them had that. So like,
Damn.
like Dana was saying that like especially since Esparza was the higher ranked fighter and won, like even before the fight, he was saying like there's a scenario that exists where just because of crazy freak world, one of them had COVID. So it's like just because of like
Mm.
freak world scenarios, Esparza may fuck around and get a title shot. I mean, I don't think she would win, but I mean, you never know. But yeah, we'll keep it pushing on to this next fight. Got some. I was really excited about this fight, and I was really shocked at the outcome.
I was so
And
pumped for this fight, and I was so not disappointed by how it ended, but like I wanted to see way more than what I got.
yeah, me too. Like and it's just that wily 42-year-old veteran. So like let's say I guess say the name. So it's for those that don't know, it's Fabricio Verdum, who's 42 years old, fighting Alexander Gustafsson, who was a stud at 205, but this was his first fight moving up to heavyweight. He's never been heavyweight before. But
First fight out of
apparently
retirement as well.
yeah, and apparently he had a gnarly weight cut to get to 205 because he weighed 240 and he didn't have that much fat on his bones. Like he was still pretty trim at 240. Like so that
Looked
just goes
normal.
to show that weight cut was probably not the move from the jump.
They say John Jones walks around at 245. Like, it's amazing that they can cut that.
Yeah. No, seriously, especially being so tall, but I guess
Shit.
maybe
Think about DC. DC used to make that shit, and he fights now at like 261.
yeah, but DC's also like my height, bro. DC's like
True.
5'10". So
True, and
that's why it makes
he was
more
thick
sense.
as hell.
Yeah, he has
at
a lot of weight
205.
he can lose. Like I'm saying, like Gustafsson last night, he's 6'5", and he didn't have that much jiggle to him.
That's a good point.
And
That's a good
so, like if you're just saying, where the fuck does that 35 pounds even come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at DC, you can find 35 pounds where you can
Oh,
can
hell yeah. You
yeah.
can find 60 pounds
Like,
off that man.
Yeah, Gustafsson, I was just like, where is it supposed to come from? But so
Good
yeah,
point.
his first fight at heavyweight. I was really impressed by Verdum's ability to like maneuver his way to that armbar because I think because Verdum took the back, right? He took Gustafsson's back, correct? Like in a scramble, right?
Yep.
And then so I thought he was going to go for the rear naked choke, and I think he did go for it.
He was
but
working for it, and
yeah.
then Gus tried to isolate an arm and outstretch his arm, and then
That's
Verdum
right.
caught that arm and swam over and swiped the legs, and then essentially like Gustafsson tried to stand up with it or like get forward with it, and Gustafsson was safe until he got rolled backwards. Like all he needed to do was lock his hands up and lean down on his shoulder, because then the ground would have blocked his arm from coming out. Way easier said than done. And Fabricio Verdum did a great job to like kick off the mat and sweep backwards to roll back to their backs.
Well, my takeaway with that, especially being 42 years old, I think Verdum won that from the neck up. Like he won that with fight IQ. Like he didn't outpower him or out cardio him or out skill him. I guess jiu-jitsu is a skill, but like he just because I don't think he wasn't gonna win no stand and trade kickboxing fight with Gustafsson. That would have ended badly with like a head kick, I think. But Verdum's just fight IQ and jiu-jitsu IQ was just, and his ability to stay collected and in control. I thought Gustafsson panicked. I just, like, looking at his face, I think he was panicking. I didn't see the level of confidence either. Like Like it seemed like Gustafson was just kind of guessing, like kind of like it just didn't seem very confident. Like I don't know, like just the vibe. Like
I think Gus is done, man. I just think he's
yeah,
done. He already
yeah,
retired once. I think he saw an opening at heavyweight, and he was like, "Man, I think I could come in there, maybe take advantage, be a champion." Because DC and Stipe are both retiring after their fight, and I think he just saw like a young division, and then realized last night maybe that like, yeah, I don't know, he didn't retire again, but I'm just saying that like, you get locked up in an armbar, you either have to think to yourself, "Well, that was a crazy catch," or I'm not here for this anymore.
yeah, man, yeah. Just definitely didn't seem that much into it.
And
After the fight, he seemed like naturally you're gonna be disappointed with himself, but he was like hanging his head and shit. It just he didn't look like a man that was itching to get in that ring again anytime soon. I feel you on that. But yeah, man, I guess we'll move it along to these certified legends.
oh
The early,
God, damn it!
the
The
early bird
fact that
special fight.
The fact that this was the co-main, dude, made me want to chuck a beer through the wall. Like, I was like, I've already seen these guys fight twice. The exact same story. Oh, and guess what? It's the exact same story in the third fight. I
Yeah,
fucking Nogueira said, "It's my last fight, 100%, no matter what."
yeah,
Mauricio Hua still wants to keep fighting, and it's like, can y'all both just get the fuck out? Because I don't have time for this 205 unranked bullshit. You guys had nothing to that division other than personal feuds.
yeah.
And they're
Personal feud.
old.
Yeah, bro. Like it was funny. Like I love whenever like Nina makes an observation because it just comes from like that's the definition of eye test. You know what I'm saying? She's just
Yeah.
watching what's going on in front of her. She doesn't have like the context sometimes to measure it up against and stuff like that. And so, but Nina was just like, "Why are their kicks so slow? Like just to the naked eye, like the leg was just like literally moving through the
Yes.
air, like just slower than it was supposed to be. Like it was just yeah, it was like just noticeably obvious just how slow the kicks were coming. And then the sad part was their reaction times were so slow that like to them it wasn't slow. Like but like watching it on TV, it was super slow. Um
Watching Noguera eat like right hands and then shuffle his feet a half a second late after eating the right hand, I was like, this dude just has brain damage. Like, why is
no,
this my
yeah.
co-main?
Yeah, no, bro, like real talk, like I was struggling with that all night. Like on one hand, enjoy the legends, enjoy the fight IQ, enjoy like put some respect on their names. They've done a lot for the sport. But then on the other side, I was just like, this is literally just like too old for like my eyes to like. It just wasn't good on the eyes. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like Big Three basketball when you're watching
Yeah.
guys with like full gray beards and shit, like try to like
Yeah.
do like a heavy drive, and it's just like in slow motion, like yeah. And I get it. Like they've earned their, I guess earned one last fight or one last paycheck or however you want to look at it. But yeah, like, these guys just didn't have it much left in the tank.
It was the battle of the balding. I'll be honest. I didn't even think to score this fight because I was so upset watching it with how bad it was. Like, I
I
literally started writing different notes to where I was just like, imagine Prohaska fighting these guys. Imagine what the fuck that would look like. 17 seconds and then one of them's asleep. Like,
no, seriously, no,
it's
that's a great
embarrassing that
point.
that's a co-main.
No,
I was getting mad watching it. Like, I was just
I
like, get
feel
me to the
you.
fucking Whitaker till. Like, it was a split decision. I guess we should even talk about how it ends.
No,
Mauricio
no,
Hua wins in split decision. I don't fucking know. I didn't score it.
I was worried that like Hua's fist was gonna get stuck in Nagira's forehead wrinkles. Like I thought it was
It
just gonna
was
like lodge into a forehead
insanity.
wrinkle. Like,
Nogueira's face was so swollen from scar tissue, it looked like he had a broken jaw all the time. I was just
but yeah, so
confused, dude.
I thought round one was close. They both had moments. Yeah, they both hurt each other. I felt yeah, I just felt like Hua had a better chin, like just probably like 6 years less of brain damage, I guess at this
You know
point.
what I mean?
I had round two to Hua and round three to Hua. I honestly, I'll be real. I kind of don't really see how it was a split decision. I pretty much had it all Hua. I mean, Nagira had a few moments here and there, but I thought Hua had many more moments and was just I thought he was getting hurt less by Nogueira's strikes. I thought that while fresh isn't a word to be used to describe either of these aging gentlemen, I felt Hua was fresher, if I had to use that
Yeah.
word.
And Nogueira's damn near you out there in a walker.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. So like they both was too old. It looked like they was too old. I thought Hua won. I mean, like I said, I thought round two was pretty much a toss. I mean, I thought round one was essentially a toss up, but round two and three, I thought were clearly Hua, and I don't really see where they. I think they just gave him the split decision to try to give Nogueira something to hang his hat on. Like he's 0 for 3 in this matchup. For those that didn't know, this was the
Yeah.
trilogy that nobody asked for.
Yeah, like nobody wanted this except for Nogueira, and also he's lost all 3 in decision. First 2 unanimous, this one split,
like,
and like you're saying, I don't think it should have been split.
like there's a lot of people watching last night's fight that weren't alive the first time they fought. They fought in
For
05,
sure.
15 years ago. So
For sure.
anybody that's like younger than like 10th grade right now wasn't alive the first time they fought. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I really was like kind of trying to force myself to enjoy like the
Nostalgia?
the pageantry of what they were trying to put. I just feel like it missed the mark. Like they were trying to, yeah, they were trying to give us these like legend matchups, and it just was like they said, the early bird special. They need to go to Golden Corral an hour early to get the senior citizen discount.
Dude, it's like when a running back is way too old and he's just getting smoked in the middle for like 2-yard gains. You're just like, I don't even want to like see this shit, honestly.
Yeah, like they literally can't bounce it to the outside anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
trying not to drop Frank Gore's name because I respect him, but let's be real, that's who we're talking about. Let's not dance.
That's exactly what
That's
we're talking
exactly.
about.
I knew. I was like, I like Frank, but that's who we're talking about here. I think he's played for the entire AFC East at this point. But but yeah, let's get to this main event, man.
Dude,
and,
the main
move
event
on
was
from these
dope.
geriatric-
Thank God, because I
Yeah,
got
it
almost
was.
put to sleep. I'll be honest. I started the main event at 4 a.m. I want to say.
Oh my God, damn.
Yeah. Oh, I watched the whole
Trooper.
thing last night after work, which I got off super late. Another story got off at like 12:30. Point being,
Damn.
watched the whole all 15 last night for y'all, for
What a
me,
gangster.
for this beefy
Yeah, what a
shit.
gangster. We appreciate
But
you. Beefy Nation appreciates you.
but this last fight was worth it. I love
It was,
Darren Till,
it was.
and I love Robert Whitaker. And Darren Till coming out to no music at all, pure silence. I was like, that shit is dope. For this environment. With fans, I would not have liked that.
Yeah.
But for this environment, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like just play into it. Like the exact opposite of what the MLB's doing. Oh my God, have you watched the baseball game?
The cardboard cutout fans, the pumped in
The
noise.
fake noise, it's awful. Like it's so awkward. It's so awkward. Like we all are adults enough to grasp what's going on here. Like it just reminds me of like some like in Harry Potter, the 5th one, when the lady's trying to act like Voldemort hasn't returned yet. Or
Oh,
like
Dolores Umbridge. Yeah.
Yep.
She's just like patronizing people and protecting them from nothing and actually harming them in doing such.
Or like I don't know if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but how like that the news lady's like, there's no war in Ba Sing Se. And that's I get that feeling every time I watch a baseball game. Like it reminds me of like some North Korean, like how they make fake grocery stores to make it seem like people aren't starving. Like that, it's just like everything's okay. Like no, it's not, but we know it's not, and we just want to watch some baseball without being creeped the fuck out. Like I feel like I'm like in the Nuketown map every time I'm like watching an A's game. It's like just so weird, but yeah, I had to get that take out there that's absolutely horrible. And like you said, Darren Till kind of did the exact opposite of that, which we both respected.
And I liked what he said about it too, because he always comes out to Sweet Caroline. It's like his thing. And he said, nah, Sweet Caroline's for the people at home. It's for the fans in attendance. So without that, I got nothing to do it for. I like that. That was a real answer.
No, that's what's up. How'd you score round one?
Ooh, I actually had Till winning round one. It was a good round, except when Robert Whitaker leaned in, and I thought it was a headbutt and then a push, and then they reviewed it. That was such a nasty elbow from Darren Till when they met in the middle.
Yeah,
Holy
bro.
shit.
Yeah, I
Holy
literally
shit.
I wrote down round one till elbow. Like I think without that elbow, it was essentially going to be a toss up.
Yep,
But
I
that
agree,
elbow, like
100%.
that was the most significant strike of the round.
Damn
I
near
think
put Whitaker out.
no, yeah. So I thought that was a nasty elbow. Elbow is just the most underutilized. Excuse me, most underutilized weapon in all of mixed martial arts, in my opinion.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
they're
Hey,
so effective.
how did you score the second round? Because I have a point to bring up. Like, I think we know who wins that round, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I had it. I gave it to Whitaker. But go ahead. I'd love to hear your take.
Do you think that could be a 10-8? Because he dropped him
Uh,
early and then dominated him for 3.5 minutes, and then Till finally got back up at like the 145 mark and fought out the rest of the round. But still
yeah,
didn't win the
it could
rest
have
of the
been.
round.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could have been. I think in a fight like this, they kind of think they may have been a little stingy with the 10-8s. You know what I'm saying? I
I
feel like they're
agree.
not
And I think that's
necessarily
right.
just.
I think that's right to do that.
Yeah. So I it could. I see where you're coming from there.
I have it
I
1919. I just wrote maybe could be 1918.
I had round three like super close. Like
Same. Very close.
everybody on Twitter and like the announcers and apparently even the judges seem to all give it to Whitaker. I don't necessarily think it was that cut and dry. I mean, I guess because it was so close, I don't have a huge issue with them giving it to Whitaker. But I thought that if there was a round that Till fans should be mad about,
I
it should be round three.
I
I think.
think I went lean Till on round three. I'm pretty
It was
sure I
really
felt like it
close.
was lean Till.
And there's just moments where I just disagree with the public. Like I said, because they
Yeah,
show
me
the
too.
tweets in the corner of the screen.
Yeah.
Every tweet was just like, "Oh, round three, Whitaker." All the judges were, I mean, all the announcers seemed to be kind of leaning Whitaker round three. And like I said, I mean, I had it soup. I literally didn't write down who I gave it to. I just wrote down close, so I can't take that much of an issue with it. But I just don't think
Would
it was that definitive.
What did you have for the championship rounds for 4 and 5? Because 4 and 5 were interesting too. I think I had Whitaker winning 4, and then I had him 2-2 going into 5. If you were leaning Till for 3, otherwise it was going to be 3-1 Whitaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I had round four to Whitaker close. I mean, like
Yep.
that's the thing about this. I think I think Whitaker ends up winning 4 out of the 5 rounds, but they were just so close. I mean,
Do
like
you think Whitaker won round 5?
yeah, because of the takedowns.
Dude, that elbow that he ate was so vicious. He was bleeding so bad that if that fight went on for another minute, they probably called the ref in and they stop it. Did you see his
Yeah,
post-fight interview? He was bleeding down the headset, dripping onto his
yeah,
chest. It was so
yeah.
bad.
No, it was bad. It was bad. I just don't. So, like, I don't think. I think he did enough else to like overcome that. I guess I could say, like with the takedowns, because round one was super close, and then the elbow decided it, but there wasn't any takedowns. I think the
Right.
takedowns were kind of enough to overcompensate for the elbow, but that's just kind of my in the moment naked eye judging. Um, I also thought it was important to note that I thought it made for a really entertaining fight. The fact that I think they both had plenty of gas still in the fifth round, which is impressive
Yeah.
because it was an active fight. Like some fighters have gas in the fifth round because it's kind of not the most active fight or whatever. But this was an intense high volume fight, and they still had plenty of gas in the fifth. So I thought that was cool. I wanted to note that.
I feel like Darren Till's toughness should be talked about too, because he came over in the third after the second round and said my leg hurts, and it's like he's chopping the shit out of it, and they said just keep doing you. After the third, he comes over, he says my leg's busted, like I can't, it's fucked, and they were like whatever, like fight through it. After the fourth round, he comes over, going into the fifth round, right, and his coach just tells him, hey, I don't give a shit about your leg, like you've been through worse, like it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was getting it chopped still in the fifth, and it was throwing leg kicks back, and I was just like, oh, my God, Darren Till's a savage.
No, he's a warrior, bro. He's a warrior.
So's
I
Robert Whitaker,
definitely,
though, too.
yeah. Like, I definitely don't think that this should hurt Till's rankings too much. I mean, he fought a guy he's ranked 6. He fought the number 1 rank. So, I mean,
And all three judges
there's
scored at 48-47, so it was close.
so close. Like I said, it reminded me of like a basketball series that a team wins in 5 games, but like three of
All
the
the
games
games are
went to
close.
overtime. Yeah,
Hmm.
like that's what it reminded me of. Because like I said, I think like gun to my head, I have to fill out a scorecard. I think I give 4 rounds to Whitaker, but I mean it's by a goddamn nut hair, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah.
there was some close ass rounds. I think I just lean Whitaker largely due to takedowns.
Yeah, I
Um,
think overall fight, I lean
and
Whitaker
leg
too. If I
kicks.
judge it as full, yeah, if I judge it as full fight, I think Whitaker for sure wins. Like if I look at it as
Yeah,
25 minutes as a whole, and I have to segment it into these fives, like I probably still have it 3 for Whitaker, 2 for Till.
yeah, yeah, man. And I mean, I don't disagree with that, but yeah, it was the unanimous decision. Um, it was a great fight. It was just I loved it because it wasn't anticlimactic. Like it lived up
Right.
to being the main event, which
I actually have
sometimes
that as a
doesn't
note.
happen.
I have that as a
Yeah,
note that the main event is like what I walk away from the card. Like when I went to sleep last night after, I was like, it was worth it that I stayed up and watched that last night because I was like, that was a good way to end it because I'd been pissed off if I saved the main event for this morning and watched Hua and Nogueira to end my night last night. I've been like, what the fuck? Like I'm 14 deep and that shit sucked. But
yeah,
when a main event lives up, it leaves like a good memory, good taste in like fans' mouths. So that's good for the UFC. And also, I would just like to note that like, what does Whitaker do here moving forward? Do you give him Hermanson because Jared Cannonier is going to fight the winner of Costa and Adesanya, apparently, and
I
then so I guess Hermanson's the only guy left to fight that would be moving it because Hermanson's 4. But do you make Whitaker keep fighting down?
yeah, that seems really unfair. Like it
Like
seems
he should
like
get another shot, right?
that. I like if you're ranked one and you beat the sixth ranked guy, I think that gives you another shot.
I kind of
I
feel that
mean,
same way.
once again, bro, it's like otherwise, what's the point of having these rankings?
But
Like, like
what's messed up, man, is that it's not even on the rankings on this one because Dana just came out and said Jared Cannonier gets the next shot
well,
after
I know,
after he
and that's
fucked
what I'm
himself.
saying. So, like, why do we even have the rankings then? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right.
because what's Cannoneer ranked?
3 because Costa's
Three.
2, Whitaker's 1, and then Adesanya's the champion. 4 is Hermanson now, and then Till was
And who does Adesanya
6.
fight next?
Adesanya fights Paulo Costa, which is in September in Fight Island. That's the return to Fight Island. Is those
Return
two?
to Fight
That
Island.
shit is gonna be so sick, so
Maybe
sick.
Dana's kind of hedging his bets, just kind of kicking this idea around. Maybe like he's worried, what if Adesanya loses and then Adesanya and Whitaker is still like a big ass fight, like probably a
Right,
pay-per-view. So
right.
like
And then Cannonier fights Costa, and then the winner of the Adesanya Whitaker gets that shot back at the title.
yeah, maybe Dana's thinking 2-3 moves ahead here.
I don't like
It
that because I like Adesanya in the Costa matchup. I think you got to look at it as like similar directions, right? So like I think Adesanya is your champion, so then you got to assume like okay, so if Costa loses there, where's he going to go after this when Cannonier fights? Like, do you give Costa and Costa Whitaker is interesting as shit,
Yeah, I think it's got
but
to
the
be some
timelines don't match
combination.
up.
Yeah, true, true. Um, if I think it's got to be some combination of those four, right? Like it's just like which order do they? And what like those four guys are like gonna be fighting each other, and eventually, you know what I'm saying, in some
But what
order.
about Jack Hermanson? Just
And
wrecked
then
through Gastelum, who lost in split decision to Till, and if Till's that close to Whitaker, like where does that put Hermanson? Like he has to be up there with him, and then Cannonier's promised a title shot too. So it's like really have a
what?
6-man weird tournament.
And then they're at 170, right?
No. That's
Oh,
all 80 or
80,
85.
85,
85, 85, yeah.
85. All I know is they better just hope Shimaev don't come up to 85. Yeah.
Shimaev's lurking in the back, like, y'all got a 6-man tournament? Cool,
Yeah.
get a winner. I'm
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, the good news is we have a lot of exciting fighters in 185, which is cool. Because for the longest time, it was just
it
Boyne
needed
Spike
life.
McGee.
It
Yeah,
needed
who was
life
the?
bad, dude.
I'm blanking. Who's the black dude that always has super boring fights at 85 for
Romero.
like ever? No, not Romero. Like a little while back.
Oh, you're thinking of Woodley at 70, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
He
Woodley
was
at 70.
70.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was at
70,
70.
70 needs life still. I mean, it has
I
Usman
get.
and Masvidal, but
Yeah.
and Covington, but 70 is just one of those divisions where like a boring dude dominates because it's like the super
Shimaev.
athlete.
Shimaev.
Yeah,
Shimaev.
yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah. Let's
doubt.
get
He's
Shimaev
coming.
at the 70 champion, dude. That would be
I would.
sick. And if he can go to 55, imagine Khabib versus Shimaev.
That would be dope. You know what? I also think maybe Shimaev's like first big matchup. I would love to see him fight Covington.
God damn, that would be so sick.
That
Because
would be
Colby would talk
sick.
all this shit, and Shimaev would be like, "I smash you, brother. Meet me in the street." It
Yep.
would be
Yeah,
so good.
nice. Yeah, no, I totally agree, brother. That would be a banger. But I think we're just throwing Shimaev out to match up against the entire UFC during this
I,
episode. We just
I mean, if you weigh 155 or 185 or anywhere in between, like, just go ahead and put your name up on the list because Shimaev's taking names.
Yeah, definitely, bro. But man, that was a super fun card, and it was a super fun Beefy Boys. I think UFC's heading back to Vegas next Friday, is what they were saying, right?
That's what they're saying, which I would like to note for the fans at home, smaller cage, probably more finishes, going to be entertaining in that aspect. Like, that small cage in Apex makes people engage.
Can they not get a normal sized cage, bro? Like, I just don't understand. Like,
They could. They just
they
want to
just
put him in
don't.
there. They
Like,
want to put
yeah,
him in
like,
there. It
like
sells more
that's.
because finishes sell,
How do
unfortunately.
you? All right, let me ask your opinion on this. Do you think that kind of falls into the baseball and golf category, where like the different size kind of adds a little wrinkle, adds a charm, like there's no uniform size? Or do you think it should be like basketball and football, where it's like, Arizona can't randomly have a 90-yard field, or
Oh, yeah.
our some basketball, Phoenix Suns, oh, we only play half court. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Damn, that would be crazy. I
but
never
but
thought
in
about it like that. Like if you
but
played
like in
Canadian.
baseball,
Yeah.
like, the Colorado Rockies have like a 300-foot tiny little stadium, and then San Francisco's is almost like 500. It's like huge. And then
Right.
there's like, or like different golf courses. So it's like, I don't really, I kind of like think I want a uniform ring. I think
But
I do.
I want the uniform ring. Like I want the uniform ring, right? But I think from the marketing aspect is like, why do the Yankees sell so well? Because they hit a shit ton of home runs. They also have the shortest fence in the MLB on that right side. So it's like it's easy to hit home runs there. So it's easy for them to say they have more sluggers. And home runs are what essentially sell casuals. It's like
That's a good
finishes are what
point.
attract
No,
casuals in
no,
MMA. So
that's
it's
a
like
good
this.
point.
It's like this like treacherous marketing thing because when they went to Fight Island, you saw a lot more decisions because people can actually do the real game plan. Like they have space. Like a
Yeah.
kickboxer can actually keep that distance, like you're talking about. Like, can you imagine Khabib in a small cage? That's not fair for the striker.
And I honestly feel like, bro, that's like some borderline asterisk type shit. Like,
Kind of, right? Because you fight in a cage,
especially,
it's literally 18% smaller. Like that's a lot, dude. That's
no,
a
it's a
lot.
lot. It's a lot. So, man, I don't know. Not a big. You're right. Like, I don't know. I like watching knockouts and stuff, but I just, from like a pure sportsman competitive, it just doesn't seem
Yeah, it's
all
not
fully
fair.
to.
It's not
Yeah.
fair. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
like fairness. I value fairness as far as competition's concerned. But
Going
like on a
back to my
marketing standpoint, that's all it is.
Yeah, and like going back to my other analogy, it's like if one team has an 80-yard field, I'm going to value their touch and if their quarterback leads the league in passing touchdowns, I'm going to kind of be like, well, it's an 80-yard field, it's easier to score touchdowns. So like it kind of
Right.
cheapens it a little
Right.
bit for me, but yeah,
I
we got that
agree.
clock winding down. We'll wrap up episode 8 of Beefy Boys Breakdown. It was a lot of fun. We'll be back to you guys right after that next Vegas card. I believe that's next Saturday, right? Or is there 2 weeks in between?
No, it's next. Today's the 24th or 25th. Yeah, it's next Saturday. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
dope. Yeah, so
or
we'll
Sunday.
be
It's one
right
of the two.
back at it. Yeah, we'll be right back at it with the Beefy Boys 9 next weekend. And yeah, we'll enjoy those Vegas fights,
And then
everybody.
we
We know we
might
definitely
get a
will.
little look forward to Stipe DC then too, because the full card should be announced by the next event, because that'll be 2 weeks out. So we'll have the full card and we can talk about it. But
I'm loving this,
O'Malley's
man.
in, Dos Santos Rosenstruik, heavyweight championship 3, Beefy Boys that'll be 10, Beefy Boys 9 in next week. We're coming at you. Love it, bro. Appreciate you having me on. This shit was
Yeah,
tight as
thank you
hell
so
as
much for your
always.
time, brother. Yeah, thanks for everybody that watched. Thank you for your time. And yeah, keep an eye out for that Beefy Boys YouTube page coming soon, everybody. Make sure you subscribe when it comes out. Bye up. Take it easy, Beefy Nation.
Later.